In the woods, a group of 6 friends, Mike, Sarah, Jessica, Tom, Chris, and Emily, decided to go camping in a remote part of the national park. They chose a spot near a lake, surrounded by dense trees. The first evening was fun. Songs around the campfire, stories, and laughter. But even then, Sarah noticed something strange. A large shadow darted between the trees. She shared her observation, but everyone dismissed it as fatigue. Night. Around 1 a.m., Mike woke up to an odd sound, snapping twigs and heavy breathing. He cautiously peeked out of the tent and saw a massive figure about 2 meters tall standing motionless near their belongings. It had mud-covered hands and glowing eyes that shone in the darkness. Mike froze, afraid to move. The figure turned and disappeared into the woods. He returned to the tent and woke the others. Everyone decided it must have been a bear, though no one heard its characteristic growl or saw claw marks. In the morning, they discovered something missing. Part of their food was gone, and someone had left a strange sign nearby. A circle of stones with a bird's skull in the center. Jessica found an old note pinned to a tree not far away. It read, "If you hear a whistle, run without looking back." She showed it to the group, but everyone thought it was just a tourist's prank. Evening. As the sun began to set, the group heard a strange sound, a long whistle that echoed through the forest. Everyone became uneasy, but they tried to ignore their fear and continued preparing dinner. Soon, something strange happened. Chris went to fetch water from the river and never returned. They waited for him for about an hour before sending Mike to look for him. He came back half an hour later, pale as a ghost. There's something out there," he said. "I found his backpack, but Chris is gone." Emily started crying, and Jessica suggested they pack up and leave immediately. But when they tried to extinguish the fire, it inexplicably grew brighter, illuminating their faces. A voice, deep and animalistic, came from the darkness. "You won't leave so easily." Midnight? The camp descended into chaos. Next, Tom disappeared while going to check the firewood supply. His scream tore through the forest silence, followed by an eerie quiet. Sarah, Mike, and the girls barricaded themselves in the main tent, but the fabric began tearing under the weight of something enormous outside. They heard heavy breathing and scratching sounds. "It's not a bear," Jessica whispered. "It's something else." Suddenly, the tent was ripped open in one swift motion. Before them stood a creature, a humanoid silhouette with distorted facial features covered in bloodstains. Its teeth were sharp, and its gaze was wild. Dawn. In the morning, rescuers found the campsite. Only Emily remained from the entire group, lying in shock not far from the scene. Her story was incoherent, but she repeated the same thing over and over. "He's still out there. He's watching us." The search for the other members of the group turned up nothing. Only days later did they find blood traces and remnants of clothing deep in the woods. Since then, locals have called this area the Cursed Forest. And those who venture there at night sometimes hear that strange whistle